All right. Hey, Matt, what's going on, dude?
Not much, man. How you doing, Travis?
I'm doing pretty good. Hey, for anybody that might be listening to this, probably nobody in the whole wide world will ever listen to this recording. But anybody that does, this is Matt Davis, six-figure affiliate marketer now, and it runs a few sites, and we are now business partners. And this is Travis Sago. I started doing the bum marketing thing. That kind of blew up there. This is just a little intro for nobody that happens to know us. And what we wanted to talk about today was what? Getting free labor, right, Matt?
Yep.
We we didn't know what the heck to call this thing. We might name it later on down the road. But right now we thought how to get free labor would be really great. And I thought maybe, Matt, I'd just start this out with a little story. I've been doing some little bit of stock investing lately. Not a lot because I pretty much suck at it. But I've been reading some really cool articles talking about, how money never really just disappears. Money just goes to different places. All this recession or whatever, the money's just not disappearing. It's not like getting poof, gone in thin air. It's just going different places.
Yeah.
And one of the examples that they gave was that now that people are buying less new cars, their old cars are needing a lot of repairs. And so the stock that's doing really well is like O'Reilly's and Pep Boys and AutoZone. What kind of places do you got in Missouri there, Matt?
We have a lot of O'Reilly's. Actually, I think O'Reilly's national headquarters up here in Springfield. So.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So O'Reilly is the big one around here, but we have a couple of AutoZone and stuff like that too.
Yeah, but so what's happening is that money is going from the car places into these auto parts places because people are now doing a lot of do-it-yourself. And that really got me thinking. I was out jogging the other day too, and I saw one of my neighbors out mowing their lawn. And I live in a pretty nice neighborhood. Most people have their lawns mowed out here. But she was an older lady. I'm like, my gosh, I felt kind of bad that she was out there mowing her own lawn and stuff. Not that that's a horrible thing, but she's an older lady. So I was like, ugh. But it got me to thinking that, a lot of article marketers and stuff right now are doing all these things themselves. If they used to have somebody mow the lawn or do a few jobs for them or fix their car for them, there's less and less and less time now. I'm seeing that a lot with people that email me too, my bum marketers and such, that they have less and less time to actually write articles and stuff. So that's kind of a big problem. And once we hear that, we say, hey, it'd be really great, wouldn't it be, to do all this outsourcing that we keep hearing about? Why not hire somebody to write our articles for us if we don't have time? But that comes into another problem, which is what, Matt?
Paying them? Is that what?
Yeah. How the heck are we going to pay? How are the heck are we going to pay these guys if I start, if I start hiring people to do my articles for me, and those articles don't start generating sales, then how in the world are we going to pay for that? So, of course, we'd like to hire some article writers, but we're kind of worried that if we start putting them up on our lenses and submitting them and stuff, and they don't generate those sales, and we're going to be stuck with a big bill to pay our outsourcers and stuff. And I don't know. There's a whole bunch of people out there teaching outsourcing right now. I can't think of any off the top of my head. Go ahead, Matt. Can you think of anybody? John Jonas is one.
Justin Brook has a.
Justin Brook.
I don't know if he sold that site or not, but he was teaching it.
Oh, okay, outsourcing, yeah. So, there's a whole bunch of people teaching it and preaching it and saying you shouldn't be working in your own business and stuff. But if you're just starting out, how do you get that money together to start out outsourcing and hiring your article writing? So what we wanted to yak with you about is, how to do this kind of like on a bum marketing level where you start out with nothing. If I took a guy to a library, how I'd get him going, getting article writers and such, writing him articles without him coming directly out of his pocket. And we're probably going to have to break this into like 3 different interviews. And Matt and I were kind of talking about this, but breaking this into 3 different interviews. One will be the main concept, and you'll go ahead and leave, with something that you can actually use today. but then we'll break it down into how to find people to work for you, and then the third part of the concept. I'm kind of jumping ahead of myself, aren't I?
A little bit, but that's okay.
And we're going to use article writing and article marketing kind of as our big example here, but it doesn't have to necessarily be limited to that. You can use this for if you wanted a report written for you or an ebook written for you. If you want a backlinking campaign, what we're going to try to do is show you, expand your thinking, kind of think out of the box. You can get this stuff done for you free. Now, what's going to require is a little bit of ingenuity and some elbow grease, of course. But, I mean, what if, you could get all your articles written for free. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely.
How many articles, how many guys would you want out there writing articles? Or if you could get, people running backlinking campaigns and such. So let's go ahead and get right into exactly what we're talking about here. Matt, I was actually going to start with the article marketing or article writing idea first, but you do some stuff, and I don't want to give away all the details, only because I don't want 100 million people copying you. But don't you have like a girl that does backlinking for you?
Yeah, and I don't mind giving away the details because it's, I don't know, it's pretty common knowledge. I don't think I did anything fancy with it, but yeah, I hired someone to do. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Linkvana, but what that is, it's a backlink service where it's a network of blogs, and I don't want to give them a big pitch. I don't want give them a big pitch or anything. But
yeah, I've heard of it.
Okay, yeah. Basically, it's a network of blogs, and you make little posts with your backlink in it, and they send it out to their blogs. So it's an easy way to automate link building without having to go out and find the blogs to comment on.
Gotcha. So, and for anybody that's really new to this, what is the benefit of doing that?
Of just using Linkvana or doing the blog posting in general?
Yeah, using Linkvana and getting the backlinks and such.
Well, backlinks obviously are the number one force for SEO, to drive you to the top of Google. So
gotcha.
And basically, what I used to do, I used to spend so much time just going out and trying to find forums and blogs and stuff that I could comment on and get links back to my site. And Linkvana it puts them right there for you, and then you don't have to worry about them being blocked by the owner, and stuff like that, because it's owned by Linkvana. So
gotcha.
It makes everything a lot easier. You do have to pay pretty good amount of money for it, but it helps out a lot. But basically,
okay.
I'm getting that service for free, or actually, technically I'm getting money. I'm getting paid to use that service. The way I'm doing that is that I hired someone that writes for me, and she'll write a 100-word post for 50 cents per post. And
wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I got a really good deal, and she is a good writer. These are quality writing too. It's not complete gibberish. But then what I did is I went to an offline business that was looking to get some work done. Get their website higher in Google and everything. So
gotcha.
I did a little bit, not a whole lot, but a little bit of selling. Told them all about SEO and everything. And basically, it was right. It was just being in the right place at the right time. They were really wanting to use my services. So I had read a bunch of stuff on different services to provide them and all this stuff. And basically, I just said, all I'm going to do is have this girl make Linkvana posts for them, and then they're going to pay me $500 a month. So
sweet. Okay.
Yeah. So they paid. They ended up paying 1 full year in advance. So I knocked it off. I knocked it down a little bit below $500 a month. But basically, I'm getting that girl paid for me. I'm getting my Linkvana service paid for me, and she does stuff for me too, not exclusive to this website.
Perfect. Okay.
So
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So let's back it up here for a second and kind of encapsulate this a little bit. So you start out, and let's just say that you're like you're probably start buying Linkvana because you're making it now as an affiliate marketer. But let's say we're just starting out and we're doing this backlinking service kind of thing. But what you're doing is you have this site or you have articles, let's say it's on training your schnauzer, and you're trying to come up in Google for the keywords training your schnauzer. So basically, you go in there and you make links to all these blogs and make relevant comments that goes back to your website or blog about training your schnauzer. And if you get enough of those links, then you'll move up into Google.
Yep.
Correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And once you do that, then you get more visitors, and those visitors will hopefully buy your product or click through your affiliate link or join your list, and you'll make money out the other end.
Correct.
Okay. So what you did, you decided, and we're going to leave out how you got Linkvana for free, so I'm not going to worry about that yet. But
okay.
So what you did is basically you got a poster now that can go in for 50 cents a post, and this is the labor, right? For 50 cents a post, we'll go in there and post these for you for however many hours a day.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Gotcha. Now, here's the thing. You've already found this person. You're already managing her. She's already working. Would it be any more work for her to make 2 posts?
Not at all.
Okay. So now, let me tell you, I'm already licking my chops as an internet marketer because I would be more than glad to pay you $1.50 a post for her to go ahead and include me in there, especially if I didn't have to manage her, hire her, and worry about it. If I just had to pay you $1.50 a post, dude, I'd be ecstatic.
Yeah, I mean, that's all.
And I'm sure there'd be other marketers too. But plus, also, I don't have to become a member of the Linkvana service, right?
Yep. You wouldn't have to worry about managing her. All that stuff.
Perfect. So if I paid you $1.50 a post, not only is that paying her wage, but it's paying your Linkvana as well. And then you got out and went and found you another client as well.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, you could obviously do this. I don't know how many posts you can make at one time. What do you think, 3 or 5, or could you just make 10 or 15 all at the same time?
With their system, you can only post 2 to 5 a day.
On each blog?
Per domain name. So like for this client, I'm only posting 2 to 5 per day for them.
Gotcha.
For your domain, it would be limited to 2 to 5. But I could have as many domains in my project, in my account as I wanted. But each domain is limited.
Sure. So our whole point is not to make a huge, ginormous business out of this.
Yeah.
But our whole point is to get somebody making backlinks for our campaigns all day and it not costing us anything.
Exactly.
And we can accomplish that by just getting 2 or 3 folks involved with what we're doing and charging them a premium because you're managing it all. You found the girl to do it. You've already trained the girl to do it. Yeah, and it's well worth it to me to pay $1.50 or even maybe $2 a post and get 100 links a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of do a little what I call pregnant pause there and just let everybody soak that in there. So all you'd have to do is go to a forum or somewhere, and we're going to go into this in detail in part 3, finding, and I call this a co-op. It's really a little different than a co-op. But back in the olden days, they still have them, but farmers used to make these co-ops so they could buy their feed and grain cheaper. But basically, you're making a little mini co-op, and you're providing the elbow grease because we're assuming at this point that you have no cash. And you're just providing the training and the elbow grease and the management skills, and then you're going to have somebody working for you round the clock, making posts for you at Linkvana. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool.
So hopefully that's letting some bells go off. Let's use another example. Okay. Let's use maybe this one will be, I thought the backlinking was such an easy example because so many people out there need backlinking service, but they can't sit there and do it 8 hours a day themselves, and it really runs into, gosh, well, I can't sit there and pay somebody to do it. But using this concept, the co-op concept, they can. Same thing can be done with like article marketing. Right now, I've got a few article marketers working for me. The one's a good old Southern girl, and she writes some pretty awesome articles. Now, she's American, and I pay her a little bit more than probably what you would get. And we're going to talk about this in the outsourcing, which is going to be part 2 of this little interview series. But I pay her $15 an article, and she writes me 20 articles a week. And I pay a little bit more because, 1, she's a great article writer. 2, she's got a little bit of a sense of humor. And 3, she's actually submitting the article for me. But and at the end of the week, she emails me in a zip file with all those articles. Now, Matt, if I had this in a format, not in a format, but if I had this in a hot niche or a niche that was pretty hot right now, let's say I did it, everybody's selling dog training. We always use that example. But say I had a little different angle on it. Say it was dog training for diabetic dogs or health for diabetic dogs.
Okay.
And I said, Matt, I've got a pack of articles. There's 20 of them, and I would like to sell them to you. And, of course, I'm going to be completely upfront with you. I've already submitted them to a couple of top directory sites, but there's no reason why you can't put them on your blog, put them on your website if you have a website like that, and use them for anything else other than submitting them to that site. 20 articles. What would you offer me for those?
I mean, if they're as good quality as you say, man, I'd pay pretty well for them. The kind of what the market value I see going for American writers about $10 an article.
Okay, so you're making an offer of $10 an article. Now, Matt, there's a catch. I want to sell these to 15 other people.
Okay.
Would you pay me $2 an article, even though I'm selling them to 15 other people?
$2?
Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
Okay. So let me pull out my handy-dandy calculator here. If you're going to pay me $2 times 20, that's 40 smackers right there.
Okay.
And if I get 15 other people, 40 times 15, can you hear me banging on my calculator?
Yep.
That's 600. That's $600. I'm paying her $15 an article and getting 20 articles a week. That's $300. So I'm actually turning a profit of $300 on that.
Yeah, you're doubling your money to get free articles.
So what that means, I could actually accomplish this with only 20 people, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would just probably leave the price if I can get to 40 people. Now, let me ask you this, Matt. Would you be interested in getting another pack of 20 articles every month, say for $20 a month?
Absolutely.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to PayPal you over a subscribe button. And what you're going to do is just pay me $40 right now and then $20 every month. And I'm going to go ahead and deliver you 20 articles every month. And I'm not going to do this for any more than, what'd I say? 15 people? Yeah, so I'm not going to do this for any more than 15 people. So now I've got a residual income coming in. If I can find 15 other people, of $300 a month, which pays for my art, which pays for a week's worth of articles for me. Plus the articles I just sold.
Yeah.
So everything's paid for. Now you might work the numbers a little bit different. The numbers may work out differently. But the point is I can have all my article writing paid for.
Yep.
By doing a co-op with other folks. And there's all kinds of internet marketers out there. And one of the big things that they need is they need more content. Anytime you can save somebody some time and some money, you're going to be able to get takers on that. And I guarantee if you go into any forums right now and you tell them exactly what you're doing, they're not going to care as long as you manage it all. You can be perfectly upfront. Say, hey, I'm making a little co-op. You have to say co-op because that might confuse it. But here's what I'm doing. I'm setting up a little article writing service. It's only for 15 people. What I'm trying to do is I'll do all the management. I'll take care of all the training. I'll take care of all that stuff. I'll find the article writers. And all I want to do is make it so that I can get my articles taken care of for free in return for my sweat equity, in return for my elbow grease.
Yep.
You're going to have some.
I wouldn't try to fancy it up or anything like that.
And you just be honest about it and be completely frank and say, hey, I've got first dibs at Easy Articles or whatever directories that you want, because you can't resubmit these. But you can use them for your blogs, you can use them for your websites, and I'm going to give you another idea here that you can make a whole lot of money out of, another way to repurpose these articles. So that is a very viable way for you to have your articles all written for you for free. Just one way. Now, whether you want to do it on the front end and go ahead and get your people together and then have the articles written, depends on how cash short you are, or already have them written so you can give them out. I mean, that's going to be up to your cash situation. I don't know exactly how to break into this example. I want to, I don't know what a pound of lead goes for, lead metal, but this is an example. I can't remember where I heard this example from, but a pound of lead, I'm just going to make up a number. Let's say a pound of lead is worth $1.50. If we take that same pound of lead and we make fishing sinkers out of it, we can probably get, $10 to $12 a pound for that lead. If we take that same pound of lead and we make, let's say, fly fishing lures, we can probably get $1,000 a pound for that lead. It's the same lead. It's just we've purposed it in a different manner. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So let's talk about how we can repurpose these articles, because once you have articles, that's like money sitting in the bank. And I'd be almost willing to bet that a lot of people listening to us yammer on right now probably have a hard drive full of articles that they've already written.
I do.
They could probably do something with if they would take that pound of lead and repurpose it. Let me give you an idea, and I actually got this idea when I was doing some work for my affiliates. But do you have an AWeber account? I'm pretty sure you got an AWeber account.
Yeah, I do.
I've got several AWeber accounts, and what AWeber account is, for anybody who doesn't know, is basically an autoresponder service. And what an autoresponder does for you is, let's say let's go back to dog training because everybody understands that. Let's say you have a blog or a site on dog training, and people come to your site, and you say, hey, put your name and email in here. I'm going to give you a tip a week for the next year on how to train your Schnauzer dog or how to train your dog. So they put their name and email address in there. And then what happens is this software will automatically release a new article or a new message to them at specific times that you tell it to. So if you want to release an article or a message every single week, every 7 days, you can just plug all your articles in there and do that. This is used by, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of marketers out there, AWeber and different autoresponder services. But basically, they're all starving for content, because what happens is a marketer will get the first 5 or 6 or 7 messages written, and then he never writes anything else.
Yep. Because
he runs out of things to write. So this is where you can easily step in. Let's just go back to my example, my little 20 article pack. Let's say it was a 52 article pack. One of the things I could do is I could go and say, let's do it in a popular niche topic that we know there's a lot of affiliate marketers for. Let's say it's the weight loss niche. And let's say we're going to do it on losing stomach fat. So let's say I have 52 articles written on losing stomach fat, or losing your pot belly, or losing your beer belly. It's all different. But let's say I got 52 articles written on that. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Yep.
Okay. So what we could do, and this is really cool. I bet even if you're an experienced marketer, you don't know about this. Maybe you do. I don't know. But you can take those articles, you can load them all up into your Aweber account. And not only that, you can go ahead and put in the affiliate links, or leave the spots where they can put in the affiliate links in there, and set them all up to go out for a week at a time. So basically you've got a whole year's worth of autoresponder messages. Now, in Aweber, when you're in the broadcast message or you're in the follow-up message, there's a little button way down at the bottom that says, allow people to copy your campaign. You say yes on this. When you say yes, it gives you a little snippet of code. And when you give that snippet of code to another marketer, all they have to do is go back to that same section. They put that code in. They say load campaign. And it pulls every single message out of your campaign in that specific campaign and puts it into theirs.
That's pretty awesome.
So now they have 52 weeks of autoresponder messages. All they would have to go in and do is go in and modify and make sure that the affiliate links go to their affiliate site, to their blog, or wherever they want to direct that traffic to. Now, let me ask you, if I just come in and say, Matt, I've got a whole year's worth of autoresponder messages for how to lose stomach fat, how much would you give me for it?
Well, considering I'm one of those people that are guilty of writing about a week, 7 days of messages and then giving up, I'd probably be willing to pay quite a bit, probably a couple $100 for it.
Yeah, and I bet that would be really in the average too. So let's say you got a couple $100 for that. Does it really make a whole lot of difference to you how many more people I sell that to?
No, not to me.
Yeah, and it's very little. All you have to do is plug in this little code, and you hit load campaign. Pow! They're right there. You don't have to take them and copy and paste them into the autoresponder and do all that stuff. All you got to do is take them, say load campaign, and bam, there they are. Now, if we wanted to get really fancy, I could say, hey, what affiliate link do you want in there? And I could go ahead and do that for you. And if you want to do that, that's going to be an extra $100. So that would be $300. Otherwise, if you just want to go ahead and put your own links in there, it'd be $200. And just to be fair, and I don't even know if I would need to do this, but I'm going to sell this to 10 other marketers as well. Okay? But there won't be any more than 10. So for everybody listening to this, that would be $200 times 10 would be $2,000. That will pay for your Aweber all year long, because Aweber's what, $19 a month now? I'm granddaddied in on some of these, so I don't.
Yeah, I think it's 19 for us that got in before they upped it. I think it might be 20 now. 29.
Okay.
Does that sound right?
So it may be 29, and I think if you get over 10,000 subscribers, and that's when the price starts really going up. But I mean, you wouldn't need to have any subscribers if you were doing this. All you'd be using it for, so you could load up your campaigns and such. But basically, you said you'd give me $200 for that. $200 pays for, if I take 200 and divide it by 15, that pays for 13 articles for me.
And honestly, depending on the quality, I said a couple hundred, but I'm actually, in my head, I was picturing more like $300 or $400 dollars that I would pay you for it.
Okay, well, I mean, yeah, it's a lot, incredible value there, right? A year's worth of autoresponder messages. They go out once a week. I mean, there's lots of things that we could do to say, hey, if you stay in front of these people once a week, you're going to make sales off of it. And I've already got the articles in there. It's got the little pre-sales and all that stuff. But basically, I could get my articles, if I got 10 people to do that, I could get my articles written for a long, long time. I could have that money in my account and pay for my own articles for a long, long time. And not only that, but once somebody buys it from you one time, more than likely they're going to buy from you again. So if you want to do it on another set of articles, you can obviously do that. But I bet a lot of people sitting there right now have 20 or 50 articles all on the same topic that they could load up. They could add some affiliate links to, do a little pre-sell in there, and sell right now for a couple grand. I mean, I know I've got hundreds and hundreds of articles I could probably do it with.
Yeah.
but I get most of mine written for me now. But a lot of people have a lot of articles sitting in either in their Easy Articles account or sitting on their hard drive that they can do that with right now. Another idea that just occurred to me the other day was, let's keep the same example. This is on the lose stomach fat niche, right? What if we went to the top 2 or 3 merchants that we could find, the people actually selling the products, and said, hey, if you give me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these out. It's going to go out for a whole year for 10 other marketers. If you give me $100 a month, I will feature your product in all of these. I bet you can get a taker on that, because I know I'm a ClickBank vendor. I'm a merchant, and if somebody came to me with that offer, said, hey, I'm doing a year's worth of autoresponder messages. I'm going to sell it to 10 other marketers are going to be using it, and I'll make it your link for $100 a month, or just even a flat fee. There's more money that you could have coming in.
Absolutely.
So the whole idea is repurposing that lead, right? You just keep repurposing that lead over and over and over again, and you can even do it up front. And then you can have your article writer write you articles, or what else could we do with this?
One of the first things that came to my head was, selling PLR.
Okay. Yeah, we could sell PLR packs, which is kind of what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's just kind of what we're doing with the first example. But almost any steps that takes manual labor, we can probably, some of it might be a little harder to do than others, but we could probably figure out how to get this paid for us. So let's say we want to do Squidoo lenses. We might have to find somebody and train somebody, which would be basically what? Doing a Camtasia video or finding the Camtasia videos to show them?
Yep.
Training.
I'm sure you can find it on YouTube already. So.
Oh, yeah. Train somebody up to do it. Make sure they're good at it. And then we charge people to put up Squidoo lenses. And, of course, it's all managed for them. So we can charge them a premium price and get all of our Squidoo lenses put up for free. So that's the whole concept in a nutshell. Now, I get so excited about all this internet marketing stuff in the smaller world, because what's really happened is the world is such a smaller place now with all the internet, and I can talk to somebody in Singapore. You've got people hired from the Philippines, do you not? Do you still have that article writer hired from the Philippines?
Yeah, I've got 2 people from the Philippines now. One of them is that writer that we were talking about earlier that does Linkvana and everything.
Right.
Writes articles, and I actually have another one that actually goes out and does manual backlink building for me.
Gotcha. So, yeah, and the girl who does my email customer service for my relationship niche, I could easily have her handle probably 2 or 3 other customer service accounts. We talked about doing it for one of your businesses or one of the businesses we have, but I could easily have all my customer service paid for. I have another little way I got that paid for, but that's a completely different topic. But we can even do it for customer service, right? You find a person, you train them up to do the customer service and how you want them to do it. And of course, it'll be a little bit different for somebody else's customer service, but basic, generic, customer service, answering emails, providing downloads. You can have all that stuff done for you at no cost if you're willing to put in a little bit of elbow grease and train the people and find the people and handle the management headaches.
Yep. That's what you can do it with everything. Just like I'm getting Linkvana for free. if someone wanted to go out and get, a video submission service for free, Traffic Geyser, if they wanted that for free. I mean, anything that you want that, if you think it's too expensive, do something like this and just not only get it for free, get it paid for, get paid to use it.
Yeah, you co-op it, man. Exactly. I mean, never let lack of money stop you. Because there's always a way to where you can provide something that somebody wants, and even if you have to match those two together, you can come out and make it a win-win-win situation. Everybody's happy. But Traffic Geyser, that's a perfect example. Why you train somebody to do your video submissions using Traffic Geyser, which is pretty easy. There's no reason why you can't do it for somebody else. And even if all you're looking for is to cover the cost of your $100 a month membership for Traffic Geyser, I mean, gosh, there's no reason not to do stuff. If you have more time than money, and there's no crime in that, that's what most of us have. We have more time than money to invest that time wisely and get these things taken care of for us. So, I mean, I so hope that's going to be helpful. I know people probably have about 1 million and one question is, well, where do I find these people? And part 2 is going to be, how to find your outsourcers and a couple of methods we use. Matt and I find our outsourcers a little bit differently. Matt has some really good methods. Matt actually is really good at finding the brilliant low dollar people. I think you said you're getting your articles written for what, like $2.50, $3 a piece?
Yeah, started at $2 and now I'm up to $2.50, which is absolutely
so
cheap.
We were throwing numbers out like $15 an article, which is what I'm paying. Now they're probably well worth that, and it is a big benefit. You can say it's an American writer, but you still got all kinds of profit margin if you go at the $3 level. Or you can actually hire a full-time article writer at a couple sites, which we'll talk about in part 2, for as low as $600 a month. And, if they're working for you full-time, and even if they can only crank out 6 articles a day, I mean, that's 30 articles a week, consider a 5-day work week, 120 articles a month. So if you could sell 60 of them and keep 60 for yourself, I mean, you could have a whole army of people working for you, getting your articles for free, promoting all your affiliate products and so on and so forth. So, and then part 3 is going to be how to find I'm just calling them co-op partners right now. They're not exactly a co-op partner, but it's very, very similar. It's finding your co-op partners to where what you're offering. Basically, you make the pitch of, hey, I'll provide all the elbow grease, I'll provide the management, the training, and the hiring, and I'll provide you X service for X amount of dollars every month. And you just be real upfront about it. And you can also sell your autoresponder or any way you figure that you can reconfigure that block of lead and make it more valuable. The autoresponder service would work out really great. And I can tell you right now, I've seen stuff like that sell for pretty high dollar on different forums. So if you have a pack of articles, that's something you could probably do right now. Go get you an AWeber account. A lot of folks probably have an AWeber account. Start up a new list. Plug you up 20 or 52 weeks worth of stuff in there and get out there and sell it, and then hire you some labor. It'll work out great. You got anything to add, Matt?
Well, I mean, really what I was just thinking of whenever we were sitting here talking about is that depending on how much work you want to put into it, you could also, bundle them up into reports and start selling reports. Because, I mean, people are always wanting to buy.
Yes, thank you. I forgot about that. Yeah.
To use them, people are always wanting to buy reports to use for, list building material. Or you could even, if you really wanted to put some time into it, just package up it into an ebook and sell an entire mini site where someone could, sell their own product, basically. And
right.
That's where you're getting into some high dollar stuff right there.
Right, and you get the people to do it for you. That's the whole point. You get people to do it for you. You just got to figure out how you can and make it work. So one thing you could do is and it might even be cheaper. Like I know a girl that writes fantastic reports. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pitch her name right now. And she sometimes can't work because she's so busy, but her name is Michelle Strait. She writes fantastic reports. Now, is she expensive? Hell yeah, she's expensive. I think for a 50 or a 20-page report, it'll cost you $300. But there's no reason why you can't take that report, keep the report yourself, split up the report into the autoresponder series. One page might make an article, and sell that, or sell it, divide it up into articles. There's so many ways, like you said, to repurpose it. Forwards, backwards. I get so excited when I think about all the possibilities that you could do with it. You can take. Here's another idea, and say you wanted to get a audio made for yourself, an interview. There's a girl that will do interviews for you. She will not only go out and find the author, but she'll do the interview, and it costs like $800. Now, what you might want to do is just do the interview yourself, but the whole point of this is to get other people to do it. So what you could do, though, is let's say you want to do it on dog training, and you said, hey, her name is Heather Vale, by the way. She just got married. Her name's Heather Vale Goss, and you can probably just Google her. And I don't give this out to a lot of people because I don't want her getting super busy, so I can hire her, but I haven't hired her in a while, so I just go ahead and give it out. Heather Vale Goss. You just say, hey, I would like this expert, and you give her like 3 or 4 experts. She'll go out, find the experts. She'll ask you what kind of questions you want them to ask. She'll set up the interview. She'll do the whole interview for like $800. But what you can do to get the money to pay for that is the same thing we've been talking about. Let's say we wanted to do it in the lose stomach fat niche. We can go out go out and Google and find all these sites that are in the same market, right? And just make them a proposal. Say, hey, I am having a girl interview me, one of the top experts on losing stomach fat or fitness or what have you, and it's costing me some money, and what I'm trying to do is come up with enough money to where I can go ahead and get this interview. So what I thought I'd do is share the interview with you. And I was wondering if you'd be interested in having an interview with this top expert, and I would only charge you a couple $100 for it. You could do with whatever you wanted with it, and whatever you could put restrictions if you didn't want to put it up on ClickBank or whatever. But you can sell it, you can put it on your site as content, do whatever you want. So let's say you got $200 there. So all you got to do is find 4 people. So all you're going to do is share the content with 4 other sites, and I'm guaranteeing you're not going to have trouble finding 4 webmasters that they would love to have an interview with an expert in the field that they're in, that they can give away, put on their site, sell, put up as a back end. Let me tell you something. I get so excited. Maybe we're just going long, but there's so many sites that need a back end product out there. There's so many sites out there, and even if you have a 1 or 2 back ends, you're always, always, always looking for another back end. So if you can find a couple digital product guys that are in that market and say, hey, here's a wonderful back end product that you can sell, and all I'm trying to do is I'm going to offer you this low price. She actually charges $800. I wouldn't give her name or contact out. But what I'm trying to do is get a few people to where I can get the interview paid for me. So we're only sharing it with 5 people or whatever. And I'll just be completely straight and upfront about it. And you can get your interview for free. And then you've got a product. I'm done ranting now.
Okay. I was just thinking, man, we can sit here all day coming up with new ideas.
I know. I get so excited about it. And seriously, I can't tell. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say there's so many things, like anything you want online, we could figure out a way to make it work. I would almost guarantee it.
Yeah, I guarantee you there's so many. You go on ClickBank, you look at all the dog training products, and every single one of them, I guarantee you would love to have a quality audio or a quality back end. I got up there. I didn't get up there, but I was sitting there at the Mass Control conference one day, and Frank Kern's up there. He's got $1 million dog training a year business, and he says he's been so lazy he has 0 back end on it, 0, nothing. And I can almost guarantee you that if somebody would just come up and say, "Hey, I've done all the work for you. Here's a great back end," yeah. Here's a great back end for you. $200. I guarantee you, he'd probably pay more than that. But
Oh, yeah.
I would if somebody came to me and said, "Hey," and I'm not going to say what market I'm in, but just so it doesn't sound all pitchy and stuff. But I'm in the relationship stuff. If somebody came to me and said, "Hey, I've got an interview with this expert that'd be perfect for your customers, and you'd be perfect for a back end." Hell yeah! If I don't have to sit there and schedule the interview, pay the full $800, and just pay a portion of it, heck yeah, I'm going to co-op on that. Heck yeah! And I'm telling you, there's so many other people out there who would do it too. Lack of money, I'm telling you guys, what I'm trying to get through, and hopefully if I can just change one person's mind about this, will be successful. Lack of money is no reason not to get out there and get something done. Elbow grease and ingenuity. Now, my grandpa called it the B word, but another word for it is chutzpah. If you don't have money, all you got to have is guts and a little bit of ingenuity, and just put the stuff together. Money is really easier to come across sometimes, and once you start doing it and start using the mindset that you're going to go out there and help a couple people, I'm serious. I know it sounds hypey and stuff, but you're not going to ever lack for money again, because you could actually probably sell those interviews for probably $300 a pop to 20 different people, depending how big your market is, and make a nice mint on it for yourself. And once they buy one, I guarantee you they'll buy another and another and another and another. Yep. Because the need for back-end products is insatiable. Because as soon as you sell a back-end product, you need another one, right? To your list. And it costs time, money, and everything. And anytime you can save somebody time or save somebody money, you're going to have a market for it. But that's in part 2 and part 3. We'll talk about all of the stuff here. I just really want people to, even now, look at what you've got sitting there right in front of you, right on your hard drive, and see how you can repurpose that lead, that little block of lead, and get it out there, get some money coming in for yourself. I think if I don't stop now, I'll go on for another hour.
All right. Well, I think there's a lot of great stuff there. Hopefully, like you said, just one person uses it. We've been successful here. So.
Yeah, I think so too. And then part 2 will be awesome. We'll show them some of our little secrets for finding good quality folks to do the work for you. And then part 3, we'll talk about how to find the folks to pay them for you, so you get all your stuff for free. As always, Matt, it's been super great doing this with you.
Oh, well, hey, you're the one that got all this stuff sparked in my mind. So.
Well, that's cool, man. Awesome. All right, man. Let's go ahead and start it then. Okay. Hey, Matt, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How about you?
Awesome. I've got my coffee here, and I'm ready to do part 2 of our Icky Outsource plan. What was part 1 about?
Dude, I don't even remember. I was thinking about it earlier. It was just the general concept that we're talking about getting free article writers and such.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting because what we're doing with our Icky Outsource plan is giving you a way where you can get all your articles written for free, websites designed for free, blogs for free. So we're putting a plan together. So part one, if you missed that, is the underlying thread or the theory behind it and how you put it all together. And part two today is going to be on how to find the article writers, the website designers, so on and so forth. And then part three is how to find your co-op partners. So today's going to be pretty exciting because you can find stuff so cheap out there. And if you're letting a few bucks stop you from hiring folks, you don't need to do that. So kind of what we wanted to do is there's about 300 or 3,000 different places where you can find somebody to hire. I don't know, somewhere around there, somewhere between 300 and 3,000, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, there's a ridiculous amount.
So what we've decided to do is just give you a couple, like a handful that work really well for us. And I think, Matt, we're going to let you kick this off. You're pretty good at this stuff, finding real low cost, quality folks. And why don't you give them a little idea how you go about doing it?
Okay. And yeah, I want to say the key word to what you just said is that they're quality still. Even though I do find really low cost people, it's still quality.
Awesome.
Yeah, because on reading forums and stuff, I've seen a lot of people get burned when they try to go for the low cost stuff. But basically, I mean, you want me to just go ahead and outline the whole process?
Yeah, and I'll just ask you questions like maybe if you get too advanced or too ninja on people.
Okay. So like we said, there are tons of different ways to do it. My favorite website to hire people from is one called odesk.com, and it's just the letter O and then desk.com.
Okay.
And basically what that is, it's a site where people like me looking to hire people can meet up and find other people that are looking to find, online work.
Gotcha. So it's kind of like what eBay does for products. People have products that they want to sell, the sellers, and then eBay brings the buyers and sellers together. So something similar to that, right? Okay.
Yeah, you post a job and then people reply, applying for the job and stuff. So same concept.
How would that differ from and some people might have heard of this, but elance.com or scriptlance.com? Is there a difference between Odesk and them?
No, I mean, I'm sure they all have their little differences, but it's the same concept, the same idea. It's just I've had the best results at Odesk, so that's one I'm the most loyal to. Okay.
All right, I gotcha. So what do you do at Odesk there?
All right, well, we'll just use the example of article writer for now.
Okay.
So if I'm looking for an article writer, they have sections on everything. I mean, if you need a designer, an article writer, sales copywriter, anything you need, you can find it there. So you'll go to post a job.
Okay.
And you get to pick the category, so you tell it, which category you want it to go in. And there's nothing real fancy to it. I mean, you can have it up and running in 5 minutes, but you post your job, you put a title, and, there's not even really a trick to it. My titles are always really boring. Like if I'm looking for an article writer, I just say article writer.
Right.
I don't put anything fancy I don't use any sales copy techniques to get more views.
Right.
I haven't needed to do that at all. But then you just go through, you put in, the most important part is your ad, the description of your job.
Okay.
And I think the reason that I've been so successful with that is that I say exactly what I'm looking for. I tell them I'm looking for a quality writer, and I always use the words, at this time, I can only pay $2 an article, or whatever your budget is.
Okay, interesting.
I say I'm looking for a long-term relationship, and in the future, if things go well,
right,
there will be room for raises and advancement. But I always say that I'm looking for a good writer that's willing to start at $2 an hour. The things that you also need to include, I definitely say that you need to see their samples.
Okay.
But because people, if someone, I actually say in there, I say if you don't send me a sample, your application will be thrown out.
Gotcha.
So if someone doesn't send me a sample of their writing, I don't even look at it. I don't even look at their application.
So this is a real quick recap. You don't make your title fancy. One of your key secrets is in being super specific on exactly what you want them to do.
Exactly.
And then you
you tell them that you're looking for a long-term relationship, or basically you're offering them a position to where if they do well for you, then they will have basically long-term money coming in.
Yeah, and see, that's one of the reasons that I really think that's worked so well for me is that I have is being specific and letting people know exactly what you're looking for, and also the fact that I offer, the long-term relationship. I think people really
Gotcha.
like that.
And then you ask them for a sample.
Yes.
Awesome. And then if they don't provide you a sample, then they're kicked the curb.
Which, I mean, you don't always have to do that because.
Well, I think it's a great idea. I think you get. I mean, so how many responses do you normally get if you can?
Oh man, about 50.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, on average, over the course of a couple of days.
So wait, let's stop here because this is pretty amazing to me. You're offering $2 an article, and you're getting like 50 responses.
Yeah.
So I mean, are these coming from all different countries, or is there a specific country they're normally coming from, or?
Actually, they do come from several different. The main one is the Philippines.
Okay.
The next big one is India, but I get a lot of USA writers to apply for the job.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, the USA writers, they usually quote me because they can quote their own price too, and they usually quote me higher than the $2. And I'm not against going higher than that at all, but it comes down to the samples. I read through the samples, I find who is the best, and so far the Philippines has been my biggest success rate because they're very affordable. Okay.
Gotcha. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say they're very affordable, and I've hired some writers there that, I mean, I guess English is their second language. I've never really asked, but I mean, they could seriously outright me. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, you suck anyways, man.
But that's true. No, I've actually thought about hiring them to write my college paper.
There you go. There's probably smart college kids out there doing that, man. They're just like partying all the time. They got somebody outsourced in the Philippines to do all their homework and stuff. I'm sure there is.
I've thought about it. I think it is a genius plan with some of the writers I've found. They get better grades than I would. But,
yeah, I got you. So I was just going to make a comment, and this is kind of hypey and stuff, but I don't really think it is. But so let me just ask you: you're finding article writers that are writing you articles for $2 an article.
Yep.
Now, let me just say this. It sounds kind of hypey. How can you not get rich in this country if you live in the United States or the UK when you can find $2 article writers?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's amazing.
It is.
Go ahead now. I just had to get that out there.
No, I'd like to add that I've had times when I bought, packs of 10 articles from these writers, and so I've got $20 into this pack of 10 articles. I get like 2 articles up, and I'm already getting sales.
Oh yeah.
And like one sale will pay for the entire pack, and then once I get them all up, they all get sales.
Yeah.
So
every content provider that I have, it works very much the same way. Whether I'm selling the articles on the second market or like I've got a girl that I pay every week to write articles, but she's paid for because the articles are already up. Pay her salary.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So let me ask you this. So you put an ad in, you get like 50 responses. What's Matt Davis's secret on wading through all those 50 responses?
Really, there is no secret. I look at them as soon as they come in, and I decide right then if I like them or not.
Okay.
At that point, I throw them kind of into a pool of whether I like or whether I dislike.
Okay.
I wait a couple.
How do you? I mean, is it just gut level, or maybe you can give the people listening some, because we're not all as probably as good as you are at making that dislike. So what's helped you out?
A key thing, actually, this is what I want to get to next, is that I check out their sample, and if that's good, I like it to sound more natural.
Okay.
I don't want it to sound like they went and like read words out of a dictionary or something like that.
Right.
There's a lot of big words. I want them to be good writers, not not good like looking up word people.
Technically proficient, right? Yeah, that I think that's one of the biggest problems that I have is you can find somebody that writes technically well, but puts you to sleep by the second paragraph or second sentence. So somebody that can write with some type of emotion, unless you're just writing on something that's completely boring topic. But okay, I got you.
Another thing, I don't really put a lot of weight into this, but so far, I've had a lot of success actually hiring people with a degree.
Okay.
They're in the Philippines, but they have a degree. And
You're blowing my freaking mind, man. So you're hiring people with a degree for $2 an article. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, one of them was even an RN. I hired a registered nurse, to write articles. And I paid her better than, at $2 an article, I was paying her better than what she would make as an RN.
Man. From the Philippines?
Yeah, from the Philippines.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. That's one of the things I wanted to address earlier, actually. There's a lot of talk online about hiring people in the Philippines and paying them $2 an article being unethical. I disagree with that completely because I'm at $2 an article, I'm giving them a better lifestyle than they're going to get. They're happy with it, and I'm happy with it. It's not like I'm ripping anybody off here.
Well, anytime I've traveled all over the world, in my younger days, and there is just an economic difference. When I spent some time in the Philippines. When I go to the Philippines, beer here at the time, beer in the U.S., you go to a bar or whatever. I was a sailor, by the way, so we judge all the economies by beer. Okay, so if beer in Hong Kong costs $5, and it was $1.25 in the base in the States, then Hong Kong had a really pretty good economy and strong, were really strong. But that's how we base the economies. But you don't go to a bar in the Philippines and when they're only want a quarter, you don't pay them a quarter. Well, we pay $1.25 in the States, so I'm just going to give you that. That's ridiculous. That's silly.
Yeah, definitely.
When you're in that country, you pay the prices that you pay and such. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all.
Yeah, well, that's what there isn't anything wrong with it. It's just there's a lot of talk. I don't know if you pay attention to many of the forums online, but there's a lot of talk about a lot of people getting upset about that.
Yeah.
But there's nothing. It's business, and we're not cheating anybody at all. They willingly do it.
Right.
They make better money. Like I said, that one made better money working for me than she did as an RN.
Sure.
But anyway, the next thing that I wanted to get to is that they'll also, on Odesk, I don't know if the other sites work like this, but on Odesk, they send you a cover letter along with their stuff. And so one thing you always want to check for is make sure that their sample, the writing in their sample matches up with the writing in their cover letter.
Okay.
Because I've gotten some.
They'll
when they
get different articles from somebody else.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
When they write their cover letter, I can't understand a thing that they write, but their sample is written perfectly. So it's like, obviously, that's not their sample.
Okay, I got you. Good. That's a good point there. Okay.
Yeah, most people would catch that, but
now I'm assuming you could, and I don't want to bust out your technique, but I'm assuming that you could probably say, hey, why don't you write me a short couple paragraphs on the raising alpacas and just see what they it's kind of like a little test for them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That would be a great second line of defense for sure. And that's what I actually forgot to mention this in the description. I use the words that this is a trial.
Okay.
We're hiring on a trial period. So, everyone does know that if they don't live up to their, what the expectations that they set with their application, that, I'm going to have to let them go for someone else.
Gotcha.
So, I think it's very good to be specific about that. But anyway, in their cover letters, you do that. You look, make sure everything matches up, and then basically that's about it. Over a course of 48 hours, you're probably going to get anywhere from 30 to 50 applicants.
Wow. Okay.
So, and then it comes down to just deciding which one you like the most. And it's not like I only get one good one out of those. I usually get a couple handfuls of like great writers.
Hmm.
I've had really hard decisions, you know, trying to figure out which one to hire before.
That's amazing. That is completely amazing to me.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So, I mean, even if somebody listening to this doesn't even want to do part 3, I mean, for $2 a day, basically, if you want one person to submit you an article a day, it's going to cost you, what, $2 a day? And if you're in a hot niche or even a mildly lukewarm niche, you should be able to make that back, right? So
definitely.
a couple sales a month, you know, and then you can have her do 2 articles a day, and 3, you can just ramp up this whole process, you know. I think a key thing is so important is the information that you're giving them. I'm wondering if we can talk you into maybe doing a little video or something for the folks on just how you go in and post to Odesk and stuff. And
Yeah, we could probably swing that.
that'd be cool. And just maybe, you know, even a notepad file, just kind of the little topics like you said, so they can remember that what we need to do is, you know, be real specific, offer a sample, match the cover letter with their sample, so on and so forth. That'd be awesome.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
Cool. Anything you want to add to your method, or do you have any other methods that you've used, or are you strictly using an Odesk?
No, really, that's been my main method, and it's worked so well. I tried it, you know, once last year, and it's worked so great that anytime I need anything, that's where I go.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So we ready to transition to the way that I do it, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, my way is a lot different than yours, and you're probably, I have to give you props, man. You know, I think there's a lot of benefits to the way that you do it, and especially for somebody just starting out. I am not so much concerned at the dollars per article as running a hands-off, hands-free business, or me being involved in it as little as possible. So that's my thinking. Like, well, I'll just go ahead and get into it. The basic way that I like to hire people is by being part of a forum where other internet marketers and service providers hang out, and getting to know these people a little bit. And if you don't know them really well, you can find out really fast by how many posts they've made and looking at their prior posts and such. I like to hire people from basically 2 forums. One will be available to everybody, and that's called the Warrior Forum. Probably a lot of folks have heard of the Warrior Forum. I don't know if a lot of folks know or not, but there's a section in the Warrior Forum called Warriors for Hire. And at any time, I was just looking in there this morning. Let me give you a couple ideas in there. There's a fella in there that will do a blog installation for you, a WordPress blog installation, complete with all the pages that you need, a little bit of content, not a lot. Guess how much this guy will do a blog install for?
Well, for my last blog install and setup, I paid $500.
Holy crap! Well, you must have a lot done to it.
He covered everything for me.
Yeah.
So
apparently, you didn't find that guy on Odesk, huh?
Nope, that was a guy I know that I knew he did good work. I know him personally.
I got you. But and there's probably a lot of difference from what this guy is offering to what you got. This is a basic plain Jane vanilla install your blog, $25.
Oh my gosh!
And he's already got people on there, you know, posting, and he's got, you know, I think several hundred posts. I might be getting confused with another one, but you know, it's real easy to go and look at these guys' posts. And one of the things that I do is I'm kind of like you. I kind of go with a gut instinct too, but I like to work with people that have a good attitude, and attitude that's not like the universe is out to get me. You know, all the universe is a scam. You know, I don't like working with people like that because, and I may be wrong in some cases, but I truly feel that if you have that worldview, that there's something internally in you at that point in your life to where that you might scam somebody. And I don't, you know, so I'm getting kind of personal here, but you know, I like to hire folks that have pretty much a positive world outlook. And it's real easy to tell from posts and how they respond to things if they have a positive world outlook or not, to me. But that's one of the things I look for, because I've only been taken one time. I probably pretty much give everybody the benefit of the doubt, but I've done really well by just looking at their posts and seeing what kind of world outlook they have. Are they nice people or are they mean people? And I know that's kind of a real gut level instinct, but it's worked out really well for me.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So if I was looking to hire a blog install guy, I'm kind of like you. First thing, I want to see some samples of what this guy's done. And then I want to take a look at what kind of reputation he's got on the forum. If I haven't been involved with the Warrior Forum, if I don't know him, then I can go, and it's easy to look at. If you look at their name on the forum, you can see all the posts, you can see all the kind of the posts that they've responded to and such, and kind of get a feel for who the person is.
Yeah.
Now, so what you can do is private message them, and I usually do like you. I'm very, very specific in what I want. And I also like to throw in there a little deadline kind of thing. So if I'm asking this guy for examples of his blog installs, I might say, hey, I'm thinking about hiring you. I'd like to see some samples. And if at all possible, I'd like to see those by Wednesday at noon. And the reason I do that is because if they can't meet deadlines or they won't even respond to me, then more than likely they're not going to work out well for me.
Yeah, I'm actually glad you said that. Throughout my hiring process, I found deadlines are almost a must.
Right.
Or if you leave projects open-ended, then it becomes such a headache.
That's a good point. Your job they will take as long on the job as you give them a deadline, typically. If you say, I need 10 articles by next week, you'll be lucky if they're, it's just like when you're a kid, you wait till the last night to do your homework, right? So exactly. You'll be lucky if there'll be strain to get them in. But if you say, I need 10 articles, I give them a reasonable amount of time to do it, but I need 10 articles within the next 3 days. Can you do that for me? Most of the time they'll be able to get it done. But yeah, the amount of time it takes to do a job will expand to meet your deadline almost all the time. But forums is awesome way to go about it. It's how I hire almost all of my folks. I also go on and hire folks from Wealthy Affiliate Forum. Now, Wealthy Affiliate is a paid forum, and there's a world of difference between the people on a paid forum, in my mind, and then a free forum. And it's a lot easier for me to find quality people at Wealthy Affiliate, actually, than there is Warrior Forum. But that's been my experience. Actually, on Warrior Forum right now, too, there's a fella, it looks like he's pretty experienced, and he shows lots of examples. He'll build you a content website with, I think it was either 5 or 10 articles already started on there for $57.
Oh, my gosh.
Now, what's great about that is if you're an AdWords marketer and you want to do an AdWords campaign, you almost have to build content site before you can even advertise on AdWords anymore. So this is a great way to say, hey, here's what I need. You got to be exactly specific. It's got to be SEO optimized. I want it on this topic. I want these type of articles. And he puts it together for you for $57, right? So can you find 2 other people that might buy that website for $25 a piece?
Oh my gosh.
It's not going to be hard, and you can probably make a profit off of it. Once you got the site, you just have all the files, you upload the files, you be completely honest, say, hey, I had this guy design me this website, and to defer my costs, I would like to sell the same site to you for like $50. If you're just planning on using it for AdWords or whatever, but you can easily sell that site to somebody else. Not the same site, but the files.
Yeah.
So, and if I know this is probably a lot of the people listening to this, if you're a person that still does not have a website up or still does not have a blog up, you've got to get in the real estate craze now. It's just like real estate property. I don't even hardly care if you make any sales or not. If you can get your site listed in the search engines with some type of content and some type of traffic there, you can sell that site later on down the road, whether it be 6 months, a year, or 2 years, for a lot more than you paid for it. It's like owning property right now. We're kind of getting off the side, the kit and caboodle, the sidetrack there, but
it's a good side note, though.
My preferred person to hire is an American person with kids or a dad trying to supplement his income that really needs the work and needs the cash. Right now, I've got a wonderful article writer, and I pay her $15 an article. She's a Southern girl. She's got a couple kids, and she writes me 20 articles a week. So that costs me $300 a week, which you might think that's expensive. But what's great is I never have to worry about the articles being on time. I automatically PayPal her the money every single week. The articles are done. She zips them up in a file. She also submits them for me. So I'm getting a little, she does all the keyword research and she submits them. So that's when I'm getting a little bit, extra for my money. And it works out beautifully. It's hands off. Yes, it's more expensive, but it's completely hands off for me. And I found her just the same way I made a little post and said I was looking for, some folks to be a long-term article writer for me, had to have a sense of humor. That's what makes her articles great, is because she puts emotion into her articles, and they're light and they're airy. I could easily, and I don't do it, but I could easily take your little article packs and sell those out as PLR, or sell those off if, that was a big, huge amount of money to pay for somebody to start out with. I would highly recommend for somebody to start out like you do, and until they get their income built up, because it can't be hard. But every person's going to run into either they have more time than money or more money than time. And right now, I'm thank goodness and bless my lucky stars that I have more money than time. So everything I try to do is kind of make sure that I'm not using my time up. And I'd much rather spend that $15 an article to get the keyword research, the submission, and everything. And it pays. It pays for itself.
Yeah, that's good. Your system, they're pretty much the complete opposite.
Right.
They're both great ways, definitely.
The other preferred method is I like to hire a management company. Just to give you an idea, my customer service is done by a management company out of the Philippines. The guy that actually runs it is an American fella that actually moved to the Philippines to run this company for him. Plus, he's a six-figure and seven-figure marketer on his own, with folks just doing everything for him. But it's out of the Philippines. And for my customer service, I hire just like you said, she's a college graduate. She used to be an English tutor. So that's how well she knows English. And she handles all my customer service for me, with the exception of my bum marketing folks. She is awesome. And the cool thing about the company is, now it costs me more, but what happens is the company supervises her. And if she is sick, there is a backup person trained to come in and take care of my customer service that day. And they call them relievers. And it works out great. So I get this little email from my project manager saying, hey, Reggie's sick today, and this other person's going to be taking care of everything for you. If you have any special needs, let me know. So it works out just awesome. Also, if Reggie were to quit or what have you, they have a backup person already set up, because one of the things that you can't have is you can't have your customer service not getting answered, so it's well worth it for me. Now I pay roughly $1,200 a month for her, which is really expensive to hire a Philippines person. You could probably go to Odesk and find the same thing, but you're going to have to manage that person.
Yeah, the peace of mind that you get is definitely worth the $1,200 a month.
Right, and she's 40 hours a week. She works the hours that I work. She's always on Skype. It's amazing. When I Skype her, it doesn't like ring 5 times and she gets back to me. It's like 1 ring, 2 ring. Hello, sir. How are you? It's amazing, because it's like 2 o'clock in the morning there, but they make them work the hours that we work. So it's really awesome. Now, the cool thing is you don't have to hire somebody out for 40 hours a week. You can hire them for 20 hours a week or 10 hours a week or 5 hours a week. And you don't pay the same amount. So if you wanted an article writer for 5 hours a week, that'd probably cost you about $300 or $400 a month, which is still comparatively cheap. Yeah. Especially when you take into part 3, which we'll be talking about later. Now, I have my I have my customer service paid for me. I think we've talked about this a little bit. Yeah. I'm immediately, like 3 days after I got her hired in, she was already paying for herself. And I literally get so many emails. I come up with it's called, we both call it, Reggie and I call it the I'm swamped email. And basically it's an email that says, hey, I've gotten your email. I'm swamped right now. I certainly apologize. Let me make you a special offer to say I'm sorry. And we make them a special offer because we literally get so many emails. There's something that Reggie just can't answer, and I don't want her to answer. But we give her those emails until I've got a chance to look at them, if I get a chance to look at those. And we make sales every single day that pays for her outsource work. It's awesome. She's free. So, I mean, there's almost any number of ways to pay for these people. Now, I can actually probably hire her out to do outsource for another company or another person if I wanted to. So if I didn't have the $1,200 a month and I didn't figure out how to make her pay for herself, I could probably go to a guy like you or somebody, well, maybe not like you because you could probably hire her out for a lot cheaper, but somebody else and basically have them pay my fees or half my fees for me. So that's my other favorite way of doing it. There's a couple companies that do that, and I've never used this one, but agentsofvalue.com is one of the big paid management companies. And you can hire article writers, a full-time web designer, or a part-time web designer, or customer service, so on and so forth. The other one, if everybody on this call promises not to go blasting out and emailing everybody, because I don't want them getting like super, super busy, the one that I use is called virtualassistant.org. That's not an affiliate link or anything. That's just where you find them. I think if you type in virtual assistant on Google, they're the number one site. And he's had all of his outsourced people doing the SEO for that. It's pretty amazing. But I have nothing but great things to say about that company, from everything from the initial interview and him finding a person for you and matching you with the right person to just how everything is handled in that company. And again, if you don't have, if you can't hire somebody full-time, then you can definitely start off hiring somebody part-time. And the beautiful thing of it is it's very, very hands-off. So if money is a huge concern, start out with your way. But when the time becomes more of an issue or, what have you, then you might want to look at some managed solutions.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that.
Yeah, those are my two basic ways: forums and management companies. And I think between Odesk, hanging out at the forums, or getting your work at a forum, almost any forum that focuses on internet marketing has a for hire section. I think Digital Point and SitePoint do as well. I've kind of found that the scamsters are a little bit more on Digital Point and SitePoint, only because they're probably super, super well-known forums. I really like to get it into paid forums or paid services, because scammers aren't typically going to pay the $30 a month or whatever to hang out there just so they can scam people.
Yeah, they'll get, that's a good point. They don't want to pay. And then on Warrior Forum, I don't know how much you pay attention to them, but they do a really good job of finding the scammers and running them out.
Yeah, they really do. Yeah, you might scam somebody one time, and you're exactly right. That's another reason why, just to do a little bit of research and make sure that the guy doesn't have all kinds of bad comments or anything about stuff that he's done. But I have to say that I've only been really taken one time, and it wasn't for very much wasn't for very much money. There's one thing that just came to my mind on either end of this is how we pay. How do we pay people? Do we pay them 50% up front? Do we pay them all up front?
Oh, yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
Well, on Odesk, there's no set thing, so you just kind of set the payment schedule. I am flexible with that. I tell them that my normal payment schedule is every 2 weeks, and so that way I try to keep all my, everybody that's working for me getting paid on the same day, and we pay them on Friday, every other Friday. And I say if that's a problem for you, let me know, and we'll try to work something out. But so far, everybody said that's great. And it's when you pay, you can use your credit card or anything straight to Odesk. Oh, which is another good thing.
Oh, really?
About Odesk. Yeah, that's what I wanted to comment on. Talking to my accountant, well, with the Philippines, taxes aren't an issue anyway. I guess they don't have an agreement with the U.S. government to where we have to withhold taxes when we hire people in the Philippines. But other countries, many other countries, you do. So if you're going to hire someone directly from a different country, you're going to have a tax liability. But if you hire them through Odesk, you're actually paying Odesk, and Odesk handles all that stuff.
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah, as far as the IRS is concerned, your money isn't going to a person; it's going to the company of Odesk, which is a U.S. company.
Gotcha.
So, they handle all that stuff for you. It just, I don't know. A lot of people probably wouldn't even think about that, but it's one of the things that I always think. I'm always looking at the tax and legal issues and stuff. And
right.
So, it's just one of the kind of the smaller benefits that I really like about doing it on Odesk.
Right.
But anyway, you just go in, you enter in, you pay straight from your credit card onto Odesk, and it's simple as that.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, and I don't want to get big on this topic, but we kind of probably need to throw a disclaimer in there. Matt and I both aren't accountants. I have a very good accountant. One of the things you have to be careful of, though, is if you're trying to hire somebody as an independent contractor, there's some rules and laws and so on and so forth. They have to use all their own equipment, which typically the way we're doing this is not a problem. But you can't, if you pay somebody on an hourly basis, you're kind of getting into more of a gray area, because most independent contractors aren't paid on an hourly basis or paid on a per piece basis. So typically you pay per article or per blog or per website, so on, or per transcription, so on and so forth. So let's talk about one other thing. And this is kind of going to go into part 3, but a lot of people might be thinking, all this money going out. And part of the whole thing is that you want to, if you're really tight on money, you want to be able to sell this to other marketers. You might think you could probably make a whole business. If you find a guy, and I really recommend getting a long term. So if I find a guy that's doing blog installations for me for $25, basically just basic blog installations, and I go out and charge $50 to other folks, if I am managing the whole process and I've gone through the work of finding a guy, whether it be on Odesk or so on, and I am managing, making sure that those people fulfill their commitments that I've made, that is worth the extra money. Yeah. Because, if some people say, well, why should I charge, what if they find out they get it for less? Well, that's the way all the business world works. You can mow your own lawn, but if you pay somebody else, you're going to pay some more. And I guarantee you the company that you're paying to mow your lawn is not paying his employees what you're paying him, because he's got to pay all their employment. He's going to make sure they get there, so on and so forth. And I think this is a real different mindset for folks when they haven't run a business, and they think, well, gosh, can I really find a guy that writes me an article for $2 an article, and is it justified to charge somebody $8 or $10 an article? Of course it's justified, because you found the guy, you're training the guy, you're making sure that the work's getting done, and it's your butt if it doesn't get done, right?
Yeah.
So definitely. And so, you're paying the $2 per the article plus your elbow grease and your management skills. So please, if anybody's listening to this feeling bad that they're going to go out and charge somebody $8 or $10 an article for the same article they paid $2 for, don't feel bad about it. that's the way business works. If you're savvy enough to be a guy like Matt and can find people to work for you for $2 an article that writes great articles, you've provided immense value to somebody. I would have no problem, Matt, if you said, hey, I got this person to write you, for $6 an article is great. I'd love to pay you if I didn't have to manage it.
Yeah.
So I just don't want people to lose sight of that fact. So in part 3, what are we going to be talking about?
Who knows?
I guess our favorite types of scotch.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in part 3, we're going to be talking about how can you get a hungry little crowd of folks that want articles or want blog installations or want graphic design, that basically you can go out and sell the stuff that you've done. So you can basically have all your articles written for free, your blog installations or your website designs or your keyword research for you for free, or your SEO backlinking, all done. You can have somebody in there working for you 8 hours a day, building links to your pages, all done for free. So we're going to show you how to get the co-op partners in part 3. That's what it's all going to be about. All right.
Yeah, I think it's when it all comes together.
Yeah, I think so too. Because this is a wonderful, wonderful world we're living in right now, I believe.
Definitely, absolutely.
Let's leave it at that there. Catch you on part 3.
Yep, see you guys later.
All right, bye. Hey, Matt, what's the haps, brother?
Not a lot. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. This is part 3 of our Instacash outsource plan. Part 3 of 3,479,232 something.
Yeah, you might have missed a couple, but that's pretty much right.
Yeah. Why do 3 steps when you can do it in a couple million?
Yeah.
Now this is part 3. Part 1 was the whole outline and the whole brainstorm session and the theory behind how to get all your labor for free. Yep. And part 2, if I recall correctly, was how to go and find the people to do the work for you, how to find that labor.
Yeah.
Which brings us to wonderful part 3, which is, and I still haven't come up with a good name for this, but is basically finding our partners, or farmers kind of call this co-ops, the people that are going to share our expenses with us. So part 3 of the Instacash outsource plan is finding partners or co-ops that's going to actually help us flip the cost or all of the cost, or we can even turn this into a little business. But that's what part 3 is.
All right.
I think, right? We're on the same page?
Yeah, that's what I had in my mind. So
Okay, cool. I said we ditch the whole thing and just talk about fishing all day.
Hey, sounds good to me.
Actually, we are going to talk about fishing a little bit because this is kind of the way I like to do all my marketing. So let's kind of look at not parable. An analogy?
Yeah.
Anybody that's been on my list or I've trained, my 3 things is find the hungry crowd, find out what they're hungry for, and give it to them. And kind of a lot of that is like fishing. You want to find a pond or a lake or basically a water area where a group of fish is hanging out, a group of hungry fish, and look at what they're biting on, and then give it to them, right? It's kind of like a fishing expedition in a way.
Exactly.
So, okay, here we are. We've got, say, an article person that's writing articles for us. And what we want to do is we want to find a co-op partner that will go in on these articles for us and defray some of that cost or all of the cost, ideally, because that's what this is all about, doing it for free. So we got to have partners or co-ops. So we got to find a pond that would be interested in folks that would like to have articles written for them. There's all kinds of ponds. What we're going to do is kind of discuss the different types of ponds and then discuss some of the bait to get them and some other kind of ways that we can get them into our own ponds. Obviously, the first one that comes to mind is going to internet marketing forums. That is a pond where, lots of hungry fish hang out that would like articles or any other type of service that we might be talking about, reports, autoresponder sequences, audio, so on and so forth. May not be the best pond, and we'll talk about that, but it's a great pond. Warrior Forum is a great one. There's a couple ways we can dangle some bait in front of that group of fish there. One way is we could pay $20 to go and fish there, and that's called the Warrior WSO, which is a Warrior Special Offer. Yeah, I'm sure you're familiar with that. I don't know if our folks there, but if you go to Warrior Forum, WARRIORFORUM.com, and you'll need to sign up if you haven't signed up already, and you actually have to make about 30 posts or so if you haven't done that, which is not hard. You just go and join the conversation. But there's a little section in the forum called Warrior Special Offers, and in there, in the Warrior Special Offers, you can make special offers to the folks there. There's also a section in there called Warriors for Hire. It doesn't get nearly the traffic, I don't think, Matt, that the WSO forum does, but you can still post in the Warriors for Hire, and I think that is free, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know. They've changed some rules within the past year, but I think that one is free still.
If it's not free, and I can't remember, I think it is free. If it's not free, though, I would definitely post it in the WSO section rather than the Warrior for Hire, only because the WSO section sometimes has anywhere from 500 to 700 people searching in it, and they're all looking to buy something, or it's amazing. Sometimes that WSO section has more people than the actual main part of the forum itself.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, in the Warrior Special Offer section has 587 people viewing it. So that's right there. That's almost 600 people ready to buy.
Those are shoppers right there. Those are all shoppers and buyers right there. So that's a great pond, right? We got 587 people in there. That's a great pond. And folks, obviously not all those people will want to bite on your bait. But what I think is a better way to go about this is to actually offer some bait. So many people don't do this. And what has been successful for me in my marketing and such is giving them something for free. So what you can easily do is have your article writer write you 5 or 10 articles, whatever you can afford, and give half of those away for free. So you would post your WSO with a title, get 5 articles written for you. You can even do it if it's all in one niche, and in one niche, that'll be your title. That'll get them to click on your post. Once you get them in there, you want to be completely frank and honest about what you're trying to do, because it's not going to do you any good to have somebody sign up for your 5 free articles and think that's all they're going to get from you. So you just tell them the whole story. Say, hey, I want to find partners that will help me defray my costs on article writers. So what I'm thinking we'll do is we'll just share the cost. And what I would like to do is go ahead and give you 5 articles completely free with no strings. Just all you have to do is put in your name and email address. And I'm going to make you an offer to buy more. And you tell them that. You want them to buy more articles. But what you're trying to do is move people from the WSO pond into your pond. How am I doing, Matt?
No, yeah, it's very good. I like where you're going with this.
So, and all these people that move from their pond into your pond are going to be they're going to bite on the bait or the fish or the stuff that you give them all the time. But what you want to do is if you can get, 75 or 100 people say, hey, yeah, I've got, put their hand up. I'm interested in getting articles. I'm interested in paying for articles. And you just tell them, I'm only looking for 3 or 5 or 10 co-op partners, right?
Yeah.
And that's all you'd be looking for. But if you build that pond, then when somebody drops off, if they drop off, then you've got a pond that you can always go back to and fish in and sell your articles.
Yeah. And another thing, kind of it's not a big deal on the front end, but when you think about it down the road, as those spots are filled, that, people are going to be willing to pay more and more for those spots. They're going to, see the exclusivity of it.
Right.
Actually, start charging more and start making a little bit more on it too.
Yeah, and what you're really doing is you're building a notification list.
Yeah.
We're using the pond analogy, which may be muddying the pond a little bit, but you're really building a notification list, right? Hey, get 5 articles for free. That way you can look at them. You can use them on your site. You can see the quality of the articles. And as soon as they sign in, you can make them an offer to buy 5 more if you want to defray your cost on the 10. But let them know that you, from time to time, once a week, once a month or whatever, you're going to make offers to them to buy more articles. And they'll be cheap because you're co-opting this.
Yep.
And you're going to have basically a list of people there that will be glad to hear from you as long as you do it on the up and up and are completely frank about it. And all you're doing is making a partnership.
Yeah.
Can you make a business out of it? Hell yeah, you can make a business out of it. You can, if you want to generate some extra money, not only to defray your article marketing costs, you can come up with more article packs or other things they might be interested in, reports, so on and so forth. There's lots of little internet marketing forum ponds that you can fish in. A lot of them will be free. You can also do this in your SIG file, right? So most internet marketing forums will allow you to put in a signature file. So if you're really, really short on money and don't want to, spend the $20 on the WSO, which is really, it's kind of being nearsighted because if you can get 100 people on your list for $20, that's like really cheap. But you can put a little forum signature in and drive them back to a free blog or free post where you explain all this, still get them to opt in for your 5 articles or what have you, and then get them on your notification list. So we're just finding ponds. We're putting out some bait. Almost all internet marketers will want to have articles.
Oh, definitely.
It's good bait.
Yeah, it's one of the hottest selling items that, in my opinion, that I see on forums and stuff like that.
Exactly. And, from time to time, you can give your list some more. So let's say if you want to do a new niche every month. So say, hey, I found this new niche that I'm going into. Let's say it's on, I hate to say it, I can't. If I say hunting, everybody gets mad at me. So let's say it's on fishing. Let's say it's on bass fishing. So here we are. I've found this new niche, new style of bass fishing or what have you. Bass fishing in northern Canada, and I'm getting a set of articles written on that. If you're in the bass fishing niche, here's an article, and this is quality article. Here's an article for free, and if you'd like more, you can get 9 more articles or 10 more articles for a low $49. So they're paying $4.90 per article. So you can do that to keep in contact with us. Well, everybody use that bass fishing article? No. Will everybody take you up on your offer? No. All you're needing is 2 or 3 people to fund your bass fishing articles.
Yep.
Okay, so that's one little pond that you can go to. Another pond that for some reason a lot of people overlook is what I call mom and pop sites, or basically local businesses that are out there that you could cater to as well. And it's the same type of fishing. Let's say, I had a good example before we did this interview. Let's see if I can remember it. Let's say that you're doing, you're selling one of the popular ClickBank muscle building products, okay? So you want to find an article writer, or you find an article writer that's going to write you great articles on building muscles and supplements and all that good stuff. So a great offline market, or a great market that you might go to, is gyms or fitness centers that have websites. And the key thing there is those guys will pay you $20, $30, $50 per article.
Yep.
So you could probably just have one or two clients that will fund all of your article writing for that niche, and they will love you. Will maybe take some explaining on how to, what they can use articles for. It might, but it's well worth it. What I would do is look for gyms that are already advertising, like on AdWords, or doing some type of online advertising, and they'll definitely understand what's going on. You might even approach the gym right there in your town and just say, hey, and just to be complete, I've got an article writer that's writing me articles on the muscle and fitness market. And what I was wondering is, if you, to defray my cost, if you would like to have those articles as well. And so you can put them up on your site, or you can send them out to your readers, so on and so forth. And probably just one partner will pay for your article writer, because they would easily give you $20 per article.
Oh, definitely. And depending on the market, I mean, some of those more higher price markets, like real estate or something, you can get even more than 20, I would say.
Exactly. And I'm just using the gym example as one example. And how do you approach these guys? You approach them the same way. If you want to go to find all the gyms in your state, and then what you want to do is come up with one or two articles they can have for free, right? And then you contact them and say, hey, you tell them who you are, and and want to let you know I've got a couple articles that you can use absolutely free. And all you have to do to get in is put your name and email address in here. And I'm making this offer to you because what I'm hoping is that you might be interested in purchasing more articles down the road. You don't have to, but that's why I'm going to be making you offers down the road. And so then you build a little, basically, opt-in list of gym owners or workout centers that you can go to if you lose a partner, or you can just sell more articles to, or you can do SEO for, or backlinkings for, all kinds of stuff. Because a lot of gyms would love to come up. I know my gym would love to come up for Russellville Workout Center or Russellville bodybuilding, but they don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
And they would more than likely pay $100, $200 a month to have somebody doing a backlink campaign, which you might have to explain to them. But that would easily pay for your backlink campaigns several times over.
Yeah, and that's what I just wanted to add in. I mean, we've talked about it before, but that's exactly what I got one offline business to do.
Right.
They're paying for my backlinking campaign. They pay me pretty well, $5,000 a year so far. For my backlinking, it covers my backlinking completely and theirs. So, it's out there and it's not hard. But you hit the nail right on the head when you said a minute ago to find people that are already doing stuff online.
Right.
Because in my experience with talking to offline businesses, the ones that are doing it online, they're struggling to figure out the online game, and they're open to help. But the ones that aren't online, sometimes it's kind of hard to talk them into getting online. They don't really see it yet.
Yeah, you're totally right. And then if a guy's got a website, and then look and see if they're doing opt-ins. I wouldn't say to throw them out if they're not doing opt-ins, but if they're doing some type of opt-in stuff on their page, they understand the game a little bit better than the other offline folks. And then if they're advertising on AdWords, oh my gosh, you're gonna nail that pretty good. Dentists is a great crowd. A lot of dentists are moving in, putting up websites and advertise on AdWords. So if you're doing teeth whitening stuff, or if you got basically want articles for your AdSense site, if you go that direction, you can easily sell those to dentists if they're high quality articles.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that could be stuff that they can send out to their customers, so on and so forth. Heck, they can even print them out and put them in their newsletter if you want to do that. So there's all kinds of ways to get these people to partner up with you.
Yeah, and one little thing, a report I've read that had a little example that I thought was pretty cool for getting noticed by these offline people. I don't want to stray too far off of the topic, but basically to get their attention. If they're on advertising on AdWords, what someone did was take a screenshot of their ad circled it and wrote a little note that said, you know, do you want to get these for free? Call me. And
That's awesome.
that's like all it said. And I don't know, I love that. I think that's a great idea. Something like that where you just, you know, kind of shock them and
Right.
catch their attention. I think that's a great way to, you know, get them to call you back and set something up.
Sure, exactly. That's a great idea. I like to just give stuff away for free, you know, as long as you're very upfront.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just say, "Hey, here's 2 free articles. Sign up to my list," and then you know, send them an email every month. You see, and people won't mind if they're interested in the articles. They'll sign up. If they're not interested, they're not going to sign up.
Yep.
You know, a lot of people will sign up for the 2 free articles, but if you say, "Hey, you know, I'm going to basically want you to buy some more," and they don't sign up, you're not losing anything, because all you're really looking for what we're talking about is, you know, 3, 4, 5 partners.
Yeah.
And that's all you're looking for. If it becomes wildly profitable, sure, you could turn it into a little business, and that'll probably happen to a lot of folks, because these little ponds and lakes are full to the brim with starving fish like that need stuff like that. So those are 2 really great ponds you can fish in. I would recommend if you're going to go the opt-in route, that you sign up with AWeber. Very cheap. You can also outsource that to an offline guy. If you find a gym that's not doing opt-ins or whatever, this is another. When we were at the Mass Control Conference, I found a guy, this is all he was doing as a living. He had basically one AWeber autoresponder account, and he would go to offline businesses and explain to them how that they can, you know, contact their customers or their prospects. And he'd set them up all underneath the same AWeber account, and he'd charge them $100 a month to manage their account.
Wait, so he's paying $20 or whatever a month to AWeber, and he's charging each client $100?
Right.
That's awesome. That's smart. That's good.
And he sets up their little, you know, messages for them. If they want to send anything out, they just send it to him, and he sends it out to all their members, so on and so forth. But yeah, he's charging each one of those $100 a month, and he gets them locked in there because if they cancel the thing, they don't get their leads back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I forget what he said his average people he said, but he's had people that have been there for a year at least. Wow. Yeah. So, I mean, and that's basically this model too, right? You basically buy a service and you go out there and manage the service for somebody, because it's hands off for them. They just tell you what they want. Yeah. You set it up on their website or what have you, or have a web designer do it, and the leads come into your AWeber autoresponder service, and you send it out and manage it all for them for the low price of $99 a month.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And brings them in big business too, because, you know, even a restaurant. Restaurants are just now, some of the main chains are getting into doing this, to where they have birthday clubs and such, and they send you an email on your birthday.
Oh, yeah.
And contact you. But that's, you know, to them, to offline businesses, most of the time they have to pay for radio ads, pay for TV ads, pay for newspaper ads. They have to pay a huge telephone directory bill if they're that type of business. They're not used to having something where they only pay $100 a month, and, you know, it brings in like hordes of customers anytime they send out an email.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
It's a no-brainer for them, yeah.
Right, yeah. So they'll always stay signed up. That's just another little angle there. But I think between those 2 ponds and giving these folks, you know, giving the fish something to nibble on and getting them into your pond, you will never have a need or want for partners again. And you get all your articles, anything you're trying to do, free, basically. If you want an audio, say you want to do an interview series with, you know, one of the top bodybuilding experts, and it's going to cost you $800, I'm sure that you can go to some of the ClickBank guys that are already selling bodybuilding products and have them defray your costs on the back end. So what do? You can give them like 10 free minutes of the audio, right? Here's the first 10 minutes of this 90-minute interview for free. If you'd like the rest of it, you know, it would be X amount of dollars. I'm only looking for 4 partners. And dude, I'll tell you, the hunger for back ends for digital product sales or almost any business is insatiable.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think we've mentioned this before, but I mean, if I came to you with an offer for, you know, the relationship market side, you know, I've got an interview with, you know, the top guy well, it doesn't even have to be the top guy in America, but I've got an interview with, you know, a reputable guy,
right.
you know, offered you to have rights to it for a couple $100, would you not jump all over it?
Oh, heck yes, I would. And so would probably everybody else in the relationship niche.
Definitely.
Because it's only money to me.
Yeah.
I mean the money on my end. Because if I bought it for you for $400, the first thing I'm going to do is slap up a real easy sales page, throw it up on the page there. I'm going to offer it to my list of, you know, 20,000 buyers, and I'm going to, you know, probably make $8, $10, $12, $15,000 on it, even if I did a crappy job on it.
Yeah.
The whole thing for me is time. I'm time starved. You know, I don't have the time to go out and find the guy to interview and to edit it all and to get it in the right format. So if a guy like you comes up, I'd be like, dude, yeah, heck yeah. And if you give me one a month, I'll buy it every month. I'll buy all that you got. Yeah, the back ends out there are huge. And especially in this economy, there are companies out there that are looking at how to monetize their list and stuff. I'm not going to tell you what product it was, but I was working with a clothing company. They're an online clothing company, and they're looking for ways to monetize their business. And one of the products they started selling was on weight loss, because their market is basically women that have bought clothes online. And they did really good with a weight loss product, amazing with a weight loss product. So, I mean, if you think out of the box a little bit too, I mean, all online businesses can be one of your pawns, right? So you could easily say, hey, you know, I've got this such and such expert. Here's the first 10 minutes of the interview. I'd like to give it to you for free. And if you know, just put your name and email address in here, and just to let you know, I'm doing this because I want you to buy the whole interview. And not only do I want you to buy the whole interview, I would like to give you more interviews like this down the road. And I would like to contact you and let you know when I have an interview available. And if that's all cool and hunky-dory with you, put your name and email address in there. If you don't want to be contacted, you know, don't sign up for the free 10 minutes. But I don't think you're going to have any problems.
No, I don't think so either.
They're going to be starving for it. You know, I think, I don't know if I mentioned this in this interview or not, and I don't know if anybody ever did it, but Frank Kern at a Mass Control conference said that you know, he's got $1 million a year dog training business with no back end. And he says, I just don't have time to mess with it. And I don't know if any of the 500 people in that audience, you know, jumped up and said, hey, let's find him an interview. Let's find him something he can sell on the back end. Maybe somebody did, because there's a whole bunch of bright people in there.
Yeah.
But, you know, that is very, very common. So that's another great way to go about it. Look for what you can offer your starving crowd on the back end.
Yeah, and if you know if someone like Frank's doing it, then you know it's wide open. There's so many people doing it.
Oh yeah, I mean, even if you have 100 back ends, you know, as a merchant, even if you have 100 of them, are you still looking for more? Heck yeah.
Definitely.
But what really is going on is most businesses only have one back end or no back ends. I won't say most businesses. I'll say a lot of businesses online right now, especially like digital marketers, they're selling information products. You know, there's a handful that really understand and they need to have some back ends. But there's, for every one of those, there's 10 guys out there that are trying to make money on the front end.
Yeah.
And they would love to have a back end product, or they can just offer as a bonus or an upsell or what have you. But they're a starving crowd right there.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. What's the next pond we're going to?
I don't know if I have another pond. Do you have one?
No, I think you covered all the ones I had in mind too.
I don't think people really need 50 different ponds to fish in.
But don't we want to really get people confused and just really jam them up and give them as many as we can?
Well, sure. Sure, that's our whole goal here, to confuse everybody, right?
Make it as simple as possible.
But no, I think if you're a member, you know, a lot of people talk bad about forums, and I understand why. But I think if you belong to a forum and you do what they teach you in kindergarten, which is, you know, don't talk bad about other people, don't potty mouth people. If you don't have something good to say, don't say it at all. You can build up great partners at any forum that will you know, foot all your bills for you for any type of content that you need.
Yeah.
Make great partners. I think me and you initially met at the Wealthy Affiliate Forum. I mean, that's where we initially came into contact with each other. So I don't recommend hanging out on a forum every single day, doing nothing but looking for bad news and spreading more bad news and so on and so forth. Go to a forum to help other people. And I don't care what level you're at, unless you just found the internet. But more than likely, you'll be able to, if you know how to make a link, if you know how to post an article, you can help other folks out. You can offer at least a pat on the back to somebody.
Yeah.
Some moral support.
Yeah, even a congratulations on, you know, on something, or, you know, anything like that goes a long way.
Right. And basically, you know, do what they teach you in kindergarten, what your mom's taught you. I mean, that's all forum stuff is. Put a link in your forum signature. You know, hey, need cheap articles? Looking for partners. You know, and then drive them to a free blog or what have you, and say, hey, here's 5 free articles I would love to give you. And the reason I'm giving it to you, these 5 free articles, is because I would like you to buy 5 more. And not only that, I would like to let you know when other articles are available, because what I'm trying to do is get partners together to where we can all get our articles for less than we would if we had to buy them by ourselves. And if that's cool with you, put your name and email in here, and I'll let you know when I have articles available. I mean, and people will do it. I mean, that's all you got to do.
Oh, definitely. People jump on it.
Yeah, and pretty soon you're going to have, you know, you're going to get your first subscriber, and it might be 5, then it might be 10, 15, 20, and you don't need a lot. You know, just need a few that you can go out and make offers to. You know, some of the, we're kind of going off on a tangent here, but I just really want to pound this home because this applies for all marketing. But people that do really, really well in the website flipping business, basically when you buy a website for one price and you fix it up a little bit and flip it, have lists of buyers, a list of people, a notification list of people that are interested in buying websites. And all they do is once they find a website is they go out to that list and they say, hey, here's a website that's available. Here's the details on it. They don't tell them what website, or maybe not even exactly what niche. If you're interested in it, you know, fill out this form. But they basically have a pond, their own pond full of fish that are interested in consuming websites.
Yep. They sell them a lot faster than just listing them too and hoping people find them.
Oh, yeah, and with a lot less headache because they're not out in the middle of a public forum. You know, one of the things I do for my niche research is I go to Digital Point and SitePoint and look at the sites for sale.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And it says, hey, this site's doing, you know, $35,000 a month with $15,000 in advertising costs. It shows a niche and everything, you know, and it's like, you know, and you know, pretty soon you got more websites popping up just like that one because you're giving out all the details. Plus, everybody's like doubting you and so on and so forth. Whereas if you have your own little pond, you can go out and make those offers yourself and sell them for a whole lot more. I know a guy does. I think it's called Viper Business.
Yep.
That dude sells websites for way more than what they sell them on Digital Point and SitePoint. And the reason is most of the fish that he's got stocked in his pond are not internet marketers. Most of them are baby boomers looking to buy a business that doesn't require a lot of time for them to run. So they're less interested in what the actual initial cost is because their mindset's different. They're looking at their options and looking at, well, I could buy a McDonald's and that's going to cost me, $750,000. And then what have I really bought for myself? I bought myself a job that I've got to be there every day or worry about managers. And that's not what they had in their mind for their retirement. So they would rather take, $500,000 and buy a website that only requires, 2 or 3 or 4 hours a week to maintain. And they know what the income is going to be, even if it takes them 2 or 3 years to pay it off.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a different set of fish. But yes, this is a model that I apply even in all my marketing. I have a relationship product. I go to ponds where people are having trouble with their relationship areas. I have on my side of it, I have a opt-in where I give them free tips, free videos, free interviews, and develop a relationship for them in hopes that they'll buy my product. And all my product, my back-end products, which I am painfully short of. And that model works for finding partners as well. This is probably going to be the shortest part of the whole series. And it's actually, it seems like the hardest part, but it's really not. Find the pond, give them some bait, get them on your deal, and take care of your fish while they're in your pond, and you will never be hungry again. How's that for hype? But I think that's about all I got on this. I really hope this series helps some folks and gives them a completely different mindset. The response that we've already gotten from the part 1 going out has just been phenomenal. It's only going out to a few people, but people are saying, wow, you've really changed my whole idea of, how not only to get content, but how to make money online, because you can have anything you want as long as you find, other folks involved and put them all together.
Yep. That's exactly right. I don't think I could have said it any better.
All right, man. That is the end of our Instacash outsource plan. Hope you enjoyed it. Give us some feedback. What's our email address, Matt?
help@instacashkeywords.com.
So that's it for right now. help@instacashkeywords.com. We'd love to hear any feedback you have on this. If there's any kind of materials that we can give you to make it easier, just let us know. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.